thousands of Brits dream of starting new lives in the sun.
This is lovely. That water's so warm.
Drawn by the promise of cheap property and a very different way of life.
Look at the office. Could be worse, couldn't it?
But there's not always time to relax.
This is not something for the faint-hearted.
I don't think it's going to be ready.
As they launch brand new businesses.
I'll definitely enjoy my bed this evening.
Seemed like a good idea at the time.
Now we're with a new wave of expats.
All our worldly goods.
Opening restaurants and launching boats in Spain.
She's the admiral, I'm just the captain.
Vineyards and campsites in France.
It was genuinely giving me sleepless nights.
But will it be sweet success?
Puts us on the map, big time.
Or will things turn sour?
We are broke.
And can the latest Brits really find happiness in the sun?
How lucky you are to live here with me.
So lucky.
Today, can this Warrington couple save their Spanish dream following the collapse of a major airline?
Altogether, it affected 75% of the bookings. It's causing a really huge issue.
Weather woes for two expat vineyard owners.
Recently, we've got a real issue with too much rain, which is risking botrytis.
If we don't pick, then the fruit will rot.
And a Brit-run dive school tries out a new recruit.
Bit nervous.
Stress levels are slowly building as well. He's not even got in the water yet.
The southwest of France is one of the world's most important areas when it comes to wine. It's home to every type of red grape, from Malbec to Merlot, Sauvignon to Shiraz, and the industry is worth over 12 billion euros. Two Brits working in this lucrative market are Rob Brimfield and Steve McMahon. They run a vineyard and this year have successfully branched out into hospitality.
Are you OK?
Yes, I'm good, thanks.
With their complex of holiday cottages.
We're full now. The amount of guests that have stayed with us from around the world, and they've genuinely invited us to go and stay with them in their country, in their homes. You can lay in bed and look out at the vines.
I think when you put so much of yourself into what you do, to get it appreciated makes it all worthwhile. And that's where all the smiles come from, isn't it, as well as sitting in a beautiful kind of 20 acres of garden.
It's now coming to the end of the season and the couple are counting down to the most important day of the year, harvest.
We got a few which are still very green, but the machine will leave those behind generally. People just a few kilometres away are picking now. Can you hear the machinery in the background? So we're not far off. This region's already well into kind of the first throes of picking. And the next couple of weeks, every vineyard will probably be finished before the end of September.
But this year there are big concerns about their yield. A late spring frost damaged large sections of the vines, an unavoidable but potentially devastating risk of running a vineyard.
If the frost is coming, the frost is coming. What can you do? Wrap them all up in cotton wool.
Tomorrow the couple will begin harvest and find out just how much damage the frost caused. But they also need to juggle looking after their latest gîte guests.
What's the dog's name again?
Branston.
Branston. OK, Branston.
Neil and Susan Miller from Canada.
Come on in.
We're looking to spend about a month in France. Looking for a place to stay on the internet, found this place.
And it looked good.
It looked good on the internet, and it looks even better in it for real.
I was quite surprised at the amount of work that they've done in such a short period of time.
With content customers, Rob and Steve can turn their attention back to the harvest.
I've finished my jobs for the day. I've come to supervise you now.
I need supervising, don't I?
Tonight they need to prepare the storage vats, where the grape juice will be stored.
In the old days, the last person to empty the last basket in also urinated in. It's true, isn't it?
Yep. So, everything's been washed down Inside and out of the vat. Filters in place, ready for the wine. They've delivered the pump.
As soon as the grapes are picked, the juice needs to be squeezed and quickly pumped through tubes into the storage vats. But it seems there's a problem.
They didn't bring enough of these tubes to connect the pump, so we're about 2 tubes short.
Without the tubes, they would have to delay picking, and even a short hold-up could spell disaster thanks to a recent spell of extremely wet weather.
Recently, we've got a real issue with too much rain, which is risking botrytis, or it's mould that can happen because the grapes are getting more delicate. As they're ripening, that becomes an issue. But the damp weather has meant we're having to pick slightly earlier than we'd want to.
If we don't pick, then the fruit will rot. So
Thankfully, after an emergency call to the suppliers, the extra tubes arrive.
Make sure it's super red.
The vats are now ready to go, and Rob and Steve are remaining optimistic about this year's yield.
The fruits of our labour should hopefully come off the vines tomorrow, and we will hopefully have a really good harvest.
the only problem that I will foresee tomorrow is Rob not listening to me and cooperating.
From late frosts to torrential rain threatening their crop, it's been a challenging year for Rob and Steve's vineyard. Tomorrow they'll discover if all their hard work has paid off. On the beautiful coastline of southern Spain, it's nearing the end of the summer holidays. And expats Joe Golder and Ed Smith have settled into their new lives running a dive school in the sun.
This is one of the perks of the lifestyle, really. And the location slap bang on the seafront here is incredible.
We have such an outdoor lifestyle because of the sunshine we have here all the time. It's fantastic.
Despite a rocky start following a broken boat, things have really picked up for Joe and Ed. So they're now looking to train up their French friend Manu to help cope with demand.
Next year, if things grow again, we're going to need some support. We're going to need more staff. And if we can have someone like Manu come out here who we know his training, Ed's done all of his training, which is a huge thing for us when you employ somebody, is to be able to trust them to take your customers out, and we know he's going to give the service that we expect.
But Manu must first pass his dive master exams. Part of the test is to prove his teaching skills, and so today he's taking out 3 complete beginners: his stepmum, his stepsister and her boyfriend.
Bit nervous. But no, all right, just lots going on, so looking after 3 people is, yeah. Yeah, it's good, but once we're going to be in the water, I'm sure it's going to be, nice and chill out, so, yeah.
Today, Ed needs to be convinced that Manu can handle every stage of the course.
The other tank, the other 15. This one's not, but we'll remember this one.
From safety briefings to taking the clients underwater.
There's loads going on, looking after the customers, making sure everyone's got everything. The stress levels are slowly building as well. He's not even got in the water yet.
Stage 1 of Manu's test is the briefing.
OK. Comme je l'ai dit déjà tout à l'heure.
Conducted under Ed's watchful eye.
Ça passe par les yeux? Stop everything.
Or even breathing? Yeah, I got that. He was very clear on what he was explaining, and they all enjoyed it and understood what was going on. So that's the important thing, it was clear. Very good.
With step 1 passed, now comes the biggest challenge, taking 3 novice divers into the Med. It's crucial Manu shows Ed he can handle anything that's thrown at him. And soon there's a problem for him to deal with. Manu's stepmum Valerie starts to lose her confidence. So while Ed takes the other clients on a tour of the bay, Manu does some gentle one-to-one work with Valerie.
Valerie was struggling a bit, finding the confidence to actually breathe underwater. Some, just struggle a bit more, and you've got to take it easy and slowly, and that's what we did.
But at the end of the dive, what's Ed's verdict?
I think Manu did really well, actually. There was a few challenges. The problem was there's 3 students, 2 were quite confident and 1 wasn't at all. So what we ended up doing was splitting the group up. So he managed to get her down, and she did some skills, and she thoroughly enjoyed the dive. And that's testament to Manu, really, because very patient. Sometimes it takes a bit of time.
Finding the right staff can be a real headache for any business.
You're going to be Instagram superstars.
So Ed's glad he's found someone up to the job.
I think they'll be back for some more, whether they want Manu to teach them or me. I think they'll definitely have Manu teaching them rather than me.
And after a great summer, they're to end on a high. They've just received a booking from a diver they know from the UK who has flown 1,000 miles just to dive with Ed.
Because we got on so well, he's followed me out here to Spain. He wants me to teach him some more, which is lovely. So he's come all the way out here for a bit of sunshine as well, but also to do some more diving with me, which is lovely.
The Costa Blanca is a beautifully rich and varied region of southern Spain. From the wonderful coastline to inland waterfalls and mountain villages. Zoe and Mark Lancaster moved here just 2 days ago to open a cycling retreat in this stunning villa near the village of Pedreguer.
The outside space is just stunning. I've got to go and pick the orange trees later on because the oranges is right for picking, and that's what you're making your juice with in the morning. I mean, how many times do you say you do that back at home in the UK?
Yes, it's just fantastic.
It's beautiful.
But today, that rural idyll has been disturbed. The collapse of a major airline has left many of their booked-in guests unable to fly.
Cycle Retreats, good afternoon.
Zoe's now desperately trying to limit the damage to both their guests and the business.
What we've proposed is we do have a week on the 13th of January. Altogether, it affected 75% of the bookings. It's causing a really huge issue. You know, it's not as if we're talking about, you know, some obscure airline that only does 1 or 2 flights. So everyone, you know, is aware that, you know, there's people left stranded all around, and finding that generally people want to help and people genuinely want to still come, you know, which is good.
Zoe and Mark spend the day contacting clients to try to rescue the situation.
We have public liability insurance, we have all the insurances, but no insurance will ever cover for this.
And find new flights for their guests.
I think we've pretty much reached exhaustion point on what we can do now.
At the end of the day, things are looking up.
Yeah, we've only lost a couple, haven't we, now, so...
We've only lost 3 altogether and given back money to 2.
We've come a long way from this morning. It's been tiring, but I'm feeling a lot more positive, and I'm sure by tomorrow evening, this time tomorrow, we'll be...
excited for our clients to come out.
The next morning, they can get on with final preparations for their first guests who arrive tomorrow. With Mark checking over the bikes, Zoe is giving the rooms a once-over.
So the kitchen area, which is all nicely stocked up. So fruits and stuff for breakfast, drinks for our riders. We're all set up and organised in here. And then up to the other side of the finca where we've got bedrooms 2 and 3. And this room has just got beautiful views. We've actually done it.
And with everything in place, Mark and Zoe are almost ready to realise their dream.
The last couple of days has just been, we've been doing that much work, not really had time for us to actually sit back and enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel we're there now.
I can't wait to show it off. We've worked hard. It feels nice to be able to share it. Sweeping.
Yeah, I'm on it now.
Start with the back.
The next day, and in 90 minutes, Mark and Zoe's guests will land at Alicante Airport.
So they're arriving at 11:05, so I'm going to get on the way and go pick up our first riders. Exciting. Right, here we go.
Good luck, honey.
Right.
See you later.
while Mark heads off to collect them, Zoe preps the meal. Their first guests have received a discount in return for honest, constructive feedback.
Whatever isn't right on this occasion, then hopefully we'll get the feedback, you know, and it's all going to be a learning curve, and the only way we're going to learn is by doing it. All right, see you in a bit, guys. Panic! They're in Petrica!
With the first guests here, it's the moment of truth. Back in France, and dawn is breaking on Rob and Steve's vineyard on the most important day of their year.
It's 7:30, 7:45. Rumble of a machine in the distance, which makes me think our picker is on his way. Hopefully, we'll get all our grapes in the vat, ready to start fermenting our 2017.
With more demands on the couple this year, they've decided to call in some reinforcements.
Obviously, last year we didn't have any guests at harvest time, but this year we're having to juggle guests and the harvest at the same time. So it's a pretty full-on weekend. Hence, we thought it'd be a good idea to have a few helping hands.
Right on cue, neighbours Mark, Tracy, Leslie and David arrive for a day of picking.
Haven't done it for years, actually.
Hoping Rob will bring us out a pot of tea halfway through. I'm just thinking of the wine afterwards.
It's not the best day to be picking vines, but as Rob and Steve are fully aware, Mother Nature waits for no one.
We're picking now because there's a risk of prolonged wet weather. So if we get prolonged wet weather at this time of the year, because it's colder, it can rot the grapes. This is why the vintages in France are so special, because you're at the mercy of weather.
With the picker taking off the majority of the grapes from the vines, the helpers need to collect any it misses, because every single grape matters.
You both got full buckets? Should we go and throw them in?
Until they're picked and they're in that vat, and you can say, yeah, that's the level, I know where I am. It's all guesswork.
But after just 10 minutes, there's a problem. The machine has broken down.
Nous sommes au temps pour le moment, oui?
The boss has gone to get a new piece for the shaker, and he'll be back in a minute. And he said it's really rare that this happens.
There we go. Always got to have something, haven't we?
But a break in harvest does give the pair a chance to say their goodbyes to guests.
I'm sorry we've neglected you.
How bad are we? I would shake a hand. I'm sticky.
Canadians Neil and Susan.
We were so lucky we got to spend a couple of afternoons chatting and sharing some wine with
Yes, it makes it for us.
All right.
Bye, darling.
Enjoy your trip.
And with the machinery mended, it's back to work, with the grapes being crushed into juice. The couple get a first indication about the yield.
Right, the first hopper load's come in. Are we all ready?
Red wine.
Bien.
And so far, things don't look great.
It's about 2 inches below the bottom of the door.
Well, that's good.
It's
for the
not.
first one. What we get is what we get.
But though the quantity may be down, Steve is optimistic about the quality.
It's gone quite dark red already, because the juice naturally inside a grape is clear. So if it's taking the colour from the skins very quickly already, that's a good sign.
Back in the vines, the machine is making light work of the harvest, with a little help from the pickers.
Where there's grapes to be had, there's wine to be had.
So we're on the home straight. Well, we've got about 6 rows to do. Not a bad morning's work, really. Not too many injuries.
I was picking the grapes, one hand there, and then slipped right into it.
These are sharp.
After 5 hours of work, the final load of grapes is delivered to the vats, and the 2017 harvest is complete.
Those that have come out of the tubes, we're now putting into the vat as well, because it's quite a lot. We don't want any wastage, as it's a low harvest.
Another year, another wrinkle, another grey hair, another ache. Oh.
But they now need to work out exactly if this year's yield is up or down. In Spain, at Mark and Zoe's cycling holiday villa, their very first customers have just arrived and are settling in.
Nobody want a beer?
The 4 guests from Cheshire have booked a 4-day stay, and now Zoe has to serve them her first meal.
The lemon and the limes are to squeeze over your salads if you wanted it. They're from the garden.
Wow.
Make sure there's no bugs on them.
It's a lovely villa. It's very private. It's very quiet. It's kind of idyllic.
After a quick bite to eat, the guests are ready to head out.
Are you going to get your gear on? I'll clean up. Living the dream.
After a commemorative snap,
Sun's going down.
What time's dinner?
it's time to find out what they think of Mark's planned cycle routes.
Right, here we go.
This is one of Mark's easier routes, involving a gentle climb into the Spanish Sierras and back again.
Yeah, we've just done about an hour and a half out just to spin the legs, make sure the backs are running right. There's a couple need a bit of tweaking, but yeah, really enjoyed it.
You think yesterday I was riding in wind and hail, and now look at what I'm riding in today. Unbelievable.
Very happy, yeah, all good.
So it's a thumbs up on day 1. But eager to improve, the next day Mark and Zoe are keen to get some feedback.
The beds were generally all right.
Yeah, brilliant.
Anything about breakfast?
There wasn't a lot of cutlery out. A lot of hotels leave the cutlery on the side.
That's
people just help
what.
themselves.
Yeah, that's what I think I'll do.
So that's the beds and breakfast. But what about the cycling?
It was probably one of the best days I've had on a bike in a very, very long time.
Oh.
Mark was brilliant.
Right,
he just
good.
stayed at the back and made sure we didn't
And
get
then the
left
push and
behind.
pull, it was just great, wasn't it? It was just so relaxed. You felt like you were on holiday.
It was just idyllic.
It's been a tough week. We've been up and down. These last 2 days now have just, for me, has been a real realisation of what we've created, and to actually see our riders enjoying it so much is just, yeah, it really brings it home that we've, you know.
It's all been worth it now.
Yeah, it has been worth it, yeah.
The guests' day will finish with the showcase route as they tackle the mighty Col to Rates.
So tough days cycling today, real test for them. Everyone's looking forward to it, yeah.
Mark and Zoe hope the trip will impress.
Enjoy, guys.
See you soon. Bye.
Hold the rats, here we come.
Late autumn should be the perfect time to attempt the climb. Not too hot, not too cold. But just as they thought everything was under control, the weather turns bad.
The worst was when the rain was coming down off the mountain. Did you see it? Yeah. I thought it was going to have to play.
It's summertime.
Mark decides to stop to work out if it's safe to continue.
We've probably got 30 minutes to the top because we're going up and make a call on it. If it's not safe, we'll come back.
After 20 minutes, the rain begins to pass. Mark and his guests decide to head out once more.
Let's give it a go.
Let's give it a go. Come on, let's do it.
I'm just riding steady.
As they climb, the sun begins to break through.
Well done.
And it's not long before the first group reach the halfway point.
Well done.
It's just a beautiful climb. Every sort of bend, you've got a great vista. Alley, alley, alley. Fabulous, isn't it?
All the group have made it to the halfway point. Now all that's left is just one last push to the top.
We made it.
How good was that?
And a celebratory lunch.
The guys have really challenged themselves. From the feedback I've just had, they've really enjoyed it. So yeah, good. Glad I could privilege to show 'em it, really.
Well done, man. Amazing.
It's been a great start for Mark and Zoe, and their first ever guests couldn't be more positive about their stay.
This is what it's all about. This is not a training camp, this is a retreat. Ride hard and relax of an evening. Absolutely blown away by the place.
But they need to keep up the momentum and are about to face a new challenge. A booking has come in from a champion cyclist, and good feedback from him would be a huge boost.
We've got the world's #1 double-decker Ironman, Decker Dave. So I feel like we've got royalty. So it's like, time he goes past.
But what will this sporting legend make of Mark and Zoe's fledgling business? It's September in La Manga. Joe and Ed's customers have been rolling in since they opened in July.
Oh, nice to see you.
And you, yeah, good stuff.
The latest is Warwick Browning. Ed taught him to dive in the UK at Stony Cove, a flooded quarry near Leicester. But today's dive at a local marine reserve is going to be a totally different experience.
Hopefully it's going to blow his mind. We're going to have lots of schooling fish, all the bait balling sardines this time of year, the big grouper, hopefully some great visibility as well. So yeah, it's going to be very different from the last time I dived with him in Stony Cove.
Warwick from Bedford only started diving this year after receiving a gift from his wife.
The birthday present was an open water course with Ed and Joe, and yeah, I haven't looked back since then. He's very clear, very firm, and doesn't let you get away with any nonsense. Really looking forward to it, yeah.
Divers need a licence to use this marine site, which Joe and Ed don't have. So today they're catching a lift with a neighbouring school.
Lots of green, shiny silver with black stripes on. I had one for dinner last night, they're very nice, they're tasty.
And once out in the Med,
Go.
the reserve's marine life doesn't disappoint. The three divers swim amongst large grouper and a huge school of barracuda.
The whole band of them, as far as you could see, hundreds, and they just let us swim with them.
That was brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. I've never seen anything like that in my life under there. Absolutely amazing. What were those?
The grouper. That's the grouper.
They're huge, aren't they?
I haven't seen them that big.
Absolutely huge. In terms of what I expected to see here today, I would say my expectations have been substantially exceeded. I know from seeing what Ed posts on Facebook that there's been plenty of barracuda, grouper and that sort of thing, but to see a whole school constantly swimming past you, it's just way exceeded my expectations, I have to say.
This is possibly one of Joe and Ed's best dives and caps the end of a fabulous summer.
We've been telling people how great it is here, but actually to get that sort of response, yeah, it's brilliant. I love that. That's really quite rewarding for me, actually, to take someone out on a dive like that for the first time and for them to come back going, wow, that was amazing, totally blew his mind. So yeah, it was an exceptionally good dive. So, you know, he got the best of everything there.
A few days later, Joe and Ed are taking stock of their first season to see if they've made their business idea a success.
So we're only starting from July. So we've done just shy of 40 courses and more than 24 guided dives in 12 weeks. And so I reckon from March to October next year, we'll have a stormy. Well chuffed.
Well happy.
Yeah, well happy. Well chuffed.
The couple are confident that they're here to stay, so much so they're already looking at expansion plans for next season. An apartment has come up for sale next to the shop, a perfect place for the customers to stay.
The dive shop's there, the apartment's here. The customers that we've had in the last couple of days have been staying across the road in some cheap digs, paying 30 or 40 euros a night for a little apartment. So if we can tap into that and get our customers staying with us, but we can make some money out of it as well, brilliant, exactly what we need.
At the start of the year, Joe and Ed had a dream to turn their passion into profit. And after just 3 months of trading, they've made that a reality.
People live their whole lives wanting their hobby as their job, and we have that. For that aspect, I feel lucky.
Someone said it, didn't they, that if you find a job you love, you never work a day in your life.
And their new home is definitely their forever one.
You know, it's 6 o'clock in the evening in October, the end of October, and we're still in T-shirts, drinking beer, and that's, for us, it was about this outdoor lifestyle, wasn't it? Changing being indoors for outdoors, and that's exactly what we've done.
Everyone we speak to says, we just see what you're doing and we're so envious about it. And we just say the same thing, if you've got a dream, just do it. We couldn't have made a better choice.
Over in the Costa Blanca, Mark and Zoe Lancaster are preparing breakfast at their cycling retreat for an important guest. An athlete who has completed and won some of cycling's most gruelling competitions.
This week we've got the world's #1 double-decker Ironman, so that's 20 Ironmen in 20 days he did. To be riding with a guy like that, he's in mid-50s now, and he's just a fascinating guy.
Dave Clamp, or Decker Dave, lives in Cheshire and is staying at the villa for 6 days and keen to test some of Mark's routes.
It's going to be a great week. I'm really looking forward to riding with him. You know, it's not often you can ride with someone that's the world's #1 in anything, let alone an endurance sport like that. So, yeah, it's quite a privilege really to ride with him.
Dave is well known in the cycling world. Positive feedback from him would be a huge boost to Mark and Zoe's fledgling business.
It's just such a fantastic setup, brilliant idea. I've been with Cyclists previously where it's more of a staying in hotel rooms and all meeting up to go cycling, but I think their idea of doing this ski chalet kind of approach to cycling, yeah, it's really a great idea.
So the venue gets a big tick, but now it's the real challenge. It's time to check out the routes. Along with 4 other riders, Mark and Dave head up the mountain on a route known as La Val de Ebo Loop.
It's just down there.
It's a grueling 100-kilometre ride, but at the top, the views make it all worthwhile.
Never get bored of this. Every time I stop here, just breathtaking. I just love sharing. Look at that. Love it.
Fantastic, fabulous. Sunny, it's warm, out with like-minded people. Brilliant, what a day out.
It's just the best way to see the countryside, I think, by bike. It's great.
It's top marks from these guests, but what about their VIP? After a long descent back down to base, Ironman Dave is ready to give his verdict.
It's a fantastic ride, great way to spend a Sunday in October up in the sun in the mountains. It couldn't have been better actually. Mark just seemed to have specially designed it for us.
Impressing such an important guest is the icing on the cake for Mark and Zoe.
The attention to detail in every aspect that Zoe and Mark put into it is the thing that makes it so different and so special, I would say.
It was good fun today. Everyone enjoyed it. Great weather.
At any point.
Everyone back, safe and sound. Smiles on the faces, so
what do you want?
Mark and Zoe have had a tough start to their new lives. After losing their original base for the retreat, dealing with a collapsed airline, and even facing unexpected bad weather. But eventually, their hard work has paid off.
Oh, it's lovely to see you.
And as they head into autumn, there are more guests to welcome.
Right, so this is your room.
First impressions are just amazing. The sunlight, the pool, it feels like home.
I'm actually very pleasantly surprised. It's very nice, well run and friendly.
We've had 2 weeks now back-to-back clients, and it doesn't feel like that, does it?
We're tired. It's
different type of tired. You're not
stress.
stressed, exhausted through stress. It's a good exhaustion that we've just been busy.
Healthy busy.
The couple gave up well-paid jobs in the UK, and this business was a huge gamble. But now there's no going back.
We see this now as our home, really. We've created our life, our business here. I personally couldn't be happier.
And after dealing with so many issues, they are confident for their future.
Gosh, we're only at the end of our first month and we're already getting bookings for October next year. I think that it would make sense for cycle retreats to be in other parts of Europe, in France or maybe in Italy or maybe other little places, but it started here. If anyone ever said to me, do I have any regrets, the only regret I have is that we maybe didn't do it years earlier.
Yeah.
In southwest France, it's D-Day for Rob and Steve. After 5 hours of picking, they can finally assess how much wine the harvest will produce.
This vat was completely full last year. So we're probably 50% down on last year, which was to be expected. I thought it would be between 30 and 40, but it's a little bit more.
It's a disappointing yield, but the couple are determined to look at the positives.
When you actually look back at the year and look that we've had recent risks of mould and mildew and we had the frost earlier, I think there's a lot of vineyards would be very pleased to come away with what we have today.
Yeah.
I think if you expect kind of fantastic every time, you're going to be disappointed. But we've got a good quality, not a huge quantity this time.
Yeah.
So we'll see what comes out the other end.
The couple won't be able to properly assess the wine for a few months, but a better vintage will undoubtedly boost their business. And now there's another chance to showcase what they produced last year. They've come to Bordeaux, classed by many as the wine capital of the world. After being invited to a top wine bar to show off their product.
To do these sort of events in the heart of Bordeaux is really important to us because it's part of our objective of getting our name known and the quality of our wine tasted out there. So
sales are what it's all about at the end of it, really, is the more people that know about our wine and enjoy it, the more that will buy it.
Though Rob and Steve have attended local fetes, an invite to sell in the city is a first.
How are you?
Fine.
I'm not used to this big carafe.
we've about 30 that have said definitely they're coming tonight.
This is our Castillon Côte de Bordeaux 2015.
But it's an open night, so people could just turn up and they're very welcome too.
It's 80% Merlot and 20% Cabernet Franc.
And their wine appears to be going down well.
It's very soft, it's very subtle. The taste was very round, not as strong as I had expected. So it's nice.
So we literally picked the grapes for this one 2 weeks after arriving.
It was cuddling with my taste buds. That part I really liked.
It's easy to drink and it's balanced very well. And I mean, it's very good.
The event proves to be a roaring success.
You would have another bottle, please, for the table.
Of course, I'll get the sommelier to bring one over. Another sale. It's on their second bottle.
Not only do they sell dozens of bottles, the swanky bar agrees to stock Rob and Steve's wine.
We've come leaps and bounds already. We've already established ourselves as being a respectable, good quality producer.
We're at a very good point, really, just after 2 years, aren't we? We've really managed to achieve, I think, a huge amount in a short time.
Back at the vineyard, there's another job for Rob and Steve to complete.
I always go up the ladder because I'm more youthful.
His bum looks better than mine going up the ladder.
Today they need to rotate this year's wine to aid the fermentation process.
So we need to pump all of the juice and grapes out and then redistribute them in and mix them at the same time with the spinner. Yeah, it's coming, it's coming.
Everything's fine, it's on track. The fermentation has definitely started because of the change.
Look at that beautiful colour.
And the deep colour of the juice suggests that this year's wine could be their best ever.
Oh, that's nice. Perfect for breakfast.
It's been an incredibly demanding year for Rob and Steve. Though their harvest was down, the gîtes have been booked all summer, which makes up for the shortfall in income.
The outlook following this year's harvest would be quite worrying had we not had the gîtes. The gîtes were the saving grace in our business plan. They've really delivered well for us. People are enjoying their stays with us. And as a result of that, they're repeat booking for this year and even for next year as well. So we couldn't be more delighted with that.
Yes, don't put your grapes all in one vat.
Yes, good phrase, I like it. Forget the eggs.
I know.
Yeah.
But their plans don't end with holiday gîtes.
Next year we're going to be starting making Clovey Rocher gin, and we're going to be welcoming new members to our family, which will be bees. So we're going to be producing our own honey as well.
It's been a huge test, but Rob and Steve have fulfilled all their dreams.
Can I have a piggyback?
I thought you had lost weight. It's very easy to go through life with a what if, or I would love to, or I should have, and you end up at a certain time of your life sometimes just regretting things. The only regret you will have is that you didn't do it sooner.
Good vintage.
Definitely gonna be. I'm proud of you. Are you proud of me?
No.
Oh.
Breakfast outside a gîte. It's like we're on holiday.
Yes.
Joe and Ed didn't end up buying the apartment, but with the bookings diary filling up, they are still searching for a perfect place for divers to stay. After a very busy autumn, Mark and Zoe are investing in new bikes. And with more bookings coming in, they're now trying out new routes. And Rob and Steve have bookings for this season and next season too. They're aiming to replant vines, update their tasting room, and are pressing on with their plans to produce honey from their own bees. Next time, a family takes over a hotel business in France. But there's a dust-up over the dusting.
Oh my God. He didn't do behind here.
Oh my God! An adventure-loving Brit, her partner and her ex-boyfriend.
There was a bit of jealousy in the beginning. It was a bit rough.
Take a big leap of faith in Mallorca.
You have to remember that we've only got 6 months to make money.
And a couple get the keys to their new Spanish home. But they're soon having second thoughts.
When we came and looked around it, I thought this was really quite sweet. And the reality of it is that it's actually really quite awful.